Hey everybody, this is DM Mike, and this is another Tabletop Simulator map that I have created for Horde of the Dragon Queen. Now, you don't know this, but this is the third time I have tried to record this particular video. This map just kept changing, just going through all kinds of different iterations. It kept getting better and better and better, so I had to re-record. It's just kind of crazy. But anyway, let's get into this. This is called Horde of the Dragon Queen, Trial of Kelemvor. We're going to let this load up. All right, there we go. Didn't want to talk through all that because sometimes it gets really bad. Anyway, this is the Trial of Kelemvor. I'm not sure when this video is going to come out. Hopefully the campaign diary will cover what exactly is going on here. But there we go. All right. This is the map. This is where our cleric went through the Trials of Kelemvor and fought the undead through 3 rounds of combat and actually survived. She was pretty close to dying many different times, but by the skin of her teeth, she made it, and I was a little worried that I had overdone it. But anyway, I can cover that stuff in the campaign diary. So this is the map. This is made from a lot of different models on the workshop that you can find. Let me zoom up just a little bit here. Most of this stuff is Skyrim. Some of this here, I think, let me make sure I'm hitting the right button here, tab button. Things like this. These pillars are actually really small. They're from the dungeon tile set. It's easy to find on the workshop. I just expanded them and gave them more volume and scale. This right here, these fire pits, let's kind of zoom in on these fire pits. These were hexes, and this one's not, you can see the borders here, so that one's not completely done. But these were just hexes, they're lava hexes, and I just kind of put those in these little pits. And this is a visual effect that's a ring of fire, another effects you can find on workshop. Basically everything in here you find on the workshop, including these sword maidens and the rocks and the waterfalls. Technically the ceiling is supposed to be like, you know, at the top of the maiden's head. These could be a little bit bigger, but you get the idea. You don't want to really kind of put a ceiling on something like this. But anyway, this is where she fought in the arena. This is also a Skyrim model, and this was a soul where she could pull power from if needed. And this was the entryway, and I put a layer, like you can see it now, a little layer of fog up here. It's kind of glitching a little bit because I just think it's just the camera, but there's a little layer of fog up here. And this is where they entered. Here's her token. Here's some priests. And this was, you know, the temple. Actually, I was going to put some stairs going up this way, but I never did it. But this was the temple she came through. This is the outside of it. You can see another Skyrim model that I blew up and gave, you know, just expanded scale-wise and volume. And she came in here, and she went through 3 rounds of combat and survived. The third round was actually out here. You don't have to just put everything on the table. You can put stuff outside the table. So here we are. Let's go zooming over here. This is another Skyrim model, just a platform, and I put some fire in there. As you can see, it goes off into eternity. Like it's like a never-ending drop into the galaxy almost. And I put some fog and stuff down there. Probably could have moved it over a little bit so it wasn't so close to the main arena. She didn't see this because I kept the camera pretty low when we were doing the combat. But this is where they had their last bit of combat up here, where she fought a fellow Doomguide to you know, just to be able to conquer him and become the next one. No one really died in it. It was just a matter of defeating your enemy. So anyway, this is the last round, the third round of the combat, and this is where it happened. And you can just keep in mind that you can build things outside of your table. You can stack things, all kinds of stuff. But this is it, guys. This is, you know, let's look at this. This rock here, this has been in several of my other tabletop maps. It's a rock that's actually really tiny, but again, I would use some of these tools. Let's go to here, the gizmo, like move, rotate, scale, volume scale, so you can take everything and twist it, bend it, bop it, beep it, whatever, and make it as big or small as you want. Now sometimes though you're going to run into an issue of stretching the texture. See this right here, if you really start to look at it, pretty blurry, pretty ugly. Yeah, it's kind of the same way. And of course this statue is not supposed to be this big, so you can kind of see some of the texture stretching. They look better at their original scales, of course. So just be advised of that when you're putting this together, or any of your maps together. But this is the Trial of Kelemvor. Now, guys, this is not in the book, not in the Horde of Dragon Queen book. It's not something you necessarily need to worry about. My character had invested a lot of time in going to cities and temples and whatnot, and it just kind of organically went this direction. I've said this before, I'm probably going to say it 100 million times, but one of the jobs as the DM is to react to players, not just what's happening at the table, but sometimes afterwards, thinking about what they did and kind of formulating ideas and plans around that. And this is where that came from, really her actions. But if you're running Horde of the Dragon Queen, just be advised, this scenario is not in there. You don't need to worry about that. This is just something I did to have a trial for one of my players. The skeletons spawned in randomly. There's a kind of a broken one down there. One actually kind of spawned up here on top of this pillar. It had a 10-foot drop. And always with these maps, what I tried to do is out here are the bags. Oops. Oh no. Okay, now things are freaking out. The bags of enemies. And as you can see here, you can open up. Here's all my tokens that I made. 5, 6, 7, 8. And then round 1. Had 1, 2, 3, and 4. They're out of order, but there you go. And then the final round was I actually just kind of did some models. I didn't do these. These are from the workshop as well. There you go. You can kind of see him here. Boom! He always comes in upside down. I don't know why. And these two, this represented my character's avatar, and this was the other Doomguide. This was something I was going to do. She was going to fight this almost kind of, I don't know why they're coming in upside down. That's really weird. This undead knight, but I decided against that, so it kind of stayed in the bag. But this is what I typically do, is just make these maps and put my bags of tokens out here. Again, just like you're sitting at the table and you have a map and you got to reach over to your left or right and pick out your minis and put them on the board. So anyway, this is it. This is another map of Tabletop Simulator. What I'm going to do at the end here is kind of, let's get this out of there because that's just silly. I'm going to go ahead and just play this map against the ambient effects that I used for it. So you can kind of get a feel for it, of how my characters or my players experience the map. I'll only do it for about 30 seconds. I'll do like 10, 3 different shots, each 10 seconds long or something. Just so you can, get rid of this guy. There he is, upside down. Just so you can see the map with ambient and just how it really kind of brings a sense of verisimilitude to it. Anyways, all right, that's it, guys. That's all I got. This is the Trial of Kelemvor, Horde of the Dragon Queen in Chapter 6 for one of my characters, the Cleric Pax. And I think the next maps I'll be doing are going to be swamp related because that's where we're at right now. In the Mirror of Dead Men, and I got like 4 or 5 maps of this stuff that I'm kind of slowly putting together, and they're turning out great. They look great. They're very dark, ominous, a lot of atmosphere, which I love in maps. All right, guys, that's it. I guess I'll see you in the next video. And of course, if you want to just stay tuned for the next 30 seconds because that'll be just the ambiance piece, right? All right, guys, that's it. I'll see you in the next video.